answering some more of your questions. Firstly, Ashley. Ashley asks, well, he says, you say that your party has increased better wages. And then he says, the reality is that you're just making us pay more tax. When will Labour look at the freeze that's in place? So first of all, I'd say, look, it's a really difficult trade-off here. On the one hand, we want to make sure that people have got enough money in their pockets, that they're able to, pay their bills and put food on the table for their kids and all the rest of it. But at the same time, we've got to make sure that we've got public services that really function, and that the public finances are in a strong position. And I think everybody wants us to make sure that the NHS gets back on its feet. We want to make sure that local authorities have got enough money to be able to run care for the elderly, look after kids in our schools and so on, and make sure that there's extra police. I was just talking to the police this afternoon, and more police officers are coming for this area, for both Rhondda and Ogmore and across the whole of South Wales Police. So I'm afraid it's a difficult balancing act, and it is true, however, that wages are rising above inflation. That's not specifically because the government's doing it, but that is what's happened over the last year. Second question then. Neil asked me about, is it true that the government is paying for over 200 hotels to house illegal immigrants? Yes, it is true at the moment. It's just over 200. It was 400, so the number has come down. And why are we doing that? Well, the truth is that I don't think we should be using a single hotel for illegal immigrants. And the aim is to get to 0 hotels by the year 2029. We are looking at other ways. There's some 30,000 people that have got to be processed. When we came into government, the number of people who hadn't been processed for more than a year, and in some cases more than 2 years, literally hadn't been processed at all, was in the tens of thousands. And it takes a long time to get through that backlog, which is what we're determined to do. But in the end, of course, look, we've got to stop people being exposed to the people traffickers and going through that hideously dangerous way of coming to the UK. But you're right, we shouldn't have any hotels. Hotels should be for people going on holidays and for tourists. Debbie says that she lives at the top of Wattsdown, and she raises an issue about buses, and she's got a really good point about people with doctor's appointments and hospital appointments. I mean, it is really difficult, this, because quite often you see buses when new bus routes are put on or they extended hours, and there's like one person sitting in the bus. If there's large numbers of people who wanted to come forward and make a case and saying we will be using this bus if it's put on, then that makes a much better argument than just 1 or 2 people. Otherwise, it just doesn't add up financially. I want to be straight with people.